Alright, so we're picking up where we left off here, and I see that I've got some things that I want to fix a little bit with where roof lines and things like that are. This roof rafter should really notch out somewhere around 1.5 to 3 inches over this top plate. So I'm going to select the roof and I'm going to offset it from the base let's try -4 inches to begin with. That's about right. So now we're seeing it notch and wrap around the wall. If we join these two pieces together, if I hit join and I select the wall and then select the roof, you should end up getting some kind of configuration like this, which is perfect. So this is showing us how the rafter would notch around. Now, the other thing we've got to do, that since we've done that, is it's probably not a bad idea for us to check out our section, in particular things like that. Since we dropped the roof, that collar tie, I had a suspicion that it might stick out a little bit too far, so we'd have to edit the boundary on that and make adjustments to the length of it on this side. So just remember to go check to see what effect that had on the rest of your model by making those changes. So back to the typical wall section. Notice I'm in the view now. I can do this through here, or I can do this through the section view with the view active. And I don't believe the view isn't active anymore because I left the page. So you can do that in either location. So let's go back to that typical wall section view. And I'm going to add insulation. So the insulation would be in this cavity right here, and we have an insulation tool, and we'll put that insulation so that it's centered on the rim joist, and I'm just going to kind of drag it out a certain distance. The insulation isn't the right size, but if you click on it, you have the width set right here, so I want to set that to the same size as the floor joist, which would be 9 1/4. That fills that space. Up above, we're going to have insulation here. I'm also going to show insulation stuffed in between the header. So I'm going to use the insulation tool to go from here to about here. Select that and change it to 5.5. And then I want to create insulation from here up to here, and that should be at 2.5 inches. That would fill the cavity. If it didn't land quite in the right place, use the arrows on your keyboard to nudge it over where you need it to be. Then insulation would follow along this roof line all the way up to the collar tie right here. So I'm just going to have that go part of the way. And so I'm going to pick somewhere, eyeball a spot somewhere in the middle of the rafters. We can move it after the fact. Just drag that beyond the crop region, then I can select the insulation and change that to 7 1/4. When we get into the customizing portion, we are going to be customizing this rafter so it does have gypsum wallboard on the underside, and we're going to be able to extend this gypsum wallboard up. So we're not going to worry about that now. Alright, now that we've got all the detail components in here, we can go ahead and add the rest of the annotation. And you know how to do that. You're going to go to the text tool and then just start pointing to the things that you want to indicate what they are. So this is a 2x6 mud sill. Oh, make sure we have caps lock on. We may want to point to the intersection here and indicate that we want to see sill seal. You can type right on the joist, the size of the joist. That's a good spot for it. 2x10s at 16 inches on center. We haven't looked that up yet, I don't believe, so if we have, and it's something other than that, then go ahead and type in that note instead. We can indicate the size of the header, and if that is typical, then go ahead and write typical. If it is not typical, then don't. So 2x6, and then we've got 2x6 top plates. I do like to point out we've got here door and frame beyond. And then we could make a note here that's a general note because we don't have anything to point to. We can just say exterior wall construction 2x6 at 24 inches on center with R22 insulations and cavities. 1-inch insulated zip panels and insulated composite siding. Now there's one of those warnings again, and I just kept typing because I'm just going to turn off the crop, and that way I can grab it and bring it over so that it's within the crop region and then just crop it again. Okay? So it's better to do that instead of trying to enter. So now we've got a pretty good handle on what's going on here in our wall section as far as typical construction goes. If we wanted to see any interior wall construction, we could do another detail, or you could do that on the main wall section, building section rather. But this gives you an idea of how we can fully annotate. Now in the next video, I'm going to show you how we create actual topography in our site instead of doing all this stuff here with detail lines. And that's more involved, so I saved that for the second part of it. And usually it's something that you do when you know where the building is going to go, and you can put some topography information in place if you have GPS points, for instance. So go ahead and take a look at the video on topography, and that way you'll see a different approach to how we can handle this area.